Okay, good evening, everyone. I'm going to call the Marion Township Board of Supervisors meeting for Thursday, March 26th to order. The time is now 7:03 p.m. I'll ask everyone to please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. We stand one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Side note, it's really hard not to get ahead of you guys with the slight delay that there is in Teams on stuff that we have to do in unison. For anybody in the room, this is the obligatory warning that we are obviously recording for audio and video. We ask that you please silence your cell phones or at least put them on vibrate. I'm doing the same. Anybody that would like to make a public comment, we ask that you please come up towards the front of the room so that the microphone can clearly pick you up. Be sure to clearly state your name and address for the record, as well as your public comment, and to sign it on the sheet on the front of the table. Jesse, do we have anybody that signed in for public comment?
We do.
Okay.
We have Loretta Boucher first.
Peter, don't forget to announce about the executive session.
I will.
Loretta Boucher, 127 Main Street. Just a quick question from the children. When are the swings going to be put back up? Okay. I said, I'll find out. So, right. I will report. Thank you.
They asked me to.
All right, and Brian Delp.
Hello, 900 Canal Road. Basically, I'm here just to ask about the road again. Talked to you last year, Peter, over at the school. And you said that it was on the list for last year, but you guys had to do something with drainage there at the S-turn.
Yes.
So
That's actually one of the things that we're going to be covering tonight. Is we're trying to get a dirt and low volume gravel road grant for Canal Road.
okay, so you think that might happen this year?
I'll defer to Carl, but it's a strong candidate. And if it's not this year, then we'll do some cold patching to make sure that it's a little more passable until we get it.
Peter, he's not talking about the shady cabin and he's
No. He's talking about the further up. I thought Dean wanted to do the whole thing.
Well, no, there's the one further up, although it qualifies, it would be low on the priority list because the what it's gonna do for the streams, it's not gonna do a whole lot.
Okay.
One down at your end, we won't get that grant till next year.
Okay. Well, let's look at what we can do for the upper end there, because that's pretty bad. Like I thought that was included in what we were going for with the dirt and low volume gravel.
It's not pretty bad. It's really
very
bad.
bad.
It's like we live in a third world country with the road is terrible.
Brian's talking about 99, it's actually on the paperwork tonight to look to patch that, but mill it out and patch it.
Okay.
As well as down by you that always holds a lake.
And then there's a new one up there near the farm, near Brian's
Dave
farm.
Akers. Yeah.
Yeah, up at Hubecker's at the farm, right at the corner as you're coming on the canal off of Main, where the Y is. As soon as you make that sharp turn, it's like a big cavern now. And I'm out riding my trike and I'm always trying to avoid these poles and it's terrible. I haven't gone down Canal. My sister lives on the third house down, Canal crossing Sheridan. I won't even go down the street to go visit her. I go down out the other end of town and just go down the highway because it's so bad.
Yeah.
So it's planning to propose patching those areas this year.
Okay, and then a new hole just opened up like 100 feet away from my house in the middle of Canal, going towards the center of town. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Brian, a lot of the roads, Canal being, I think, one of the bigger offenders, there really is not the correct base to those roads. So they just crumble constantly. And as much as we'd like to rip it out and put it in, like I've mentioned this before, a mile stretch of road is more than $500,000 easily. Probably with everything going up in cost, it's probably closer to $750,000 to do a full depth reclamation on a road. So we're absolutely going to do it. We just have to try to juggle how best to do it and, make it work financially as well as making the road passable.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Jesse, any other public comments?
That's it for now.
Okay. Just as a declaration, there was an executive session held at the last meeting in February on the 26th. The meeting was from 8:28 to 8:38 to briefly discuss potential litigation concerns. At this time, there are no minutes to be approved. Lisa is working on finishing up the February 19th workshop meeting, February 26th Board of Supervisors meeting, and the March 19th workshop meeting. We should have those done for next month, right, Lisa?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, now that the weather has turned, there's no time like the present. If you haven't gotten your septic system pumped and inspected as part of that initial 4-year cycle for pump out, the list of registered pumpers is available at the township building upon request. Most pumpers in the area have done the registration, but if you have a company that is not on that list that you'd like to use, certainly pass along that they can contact the township building and register in the Terra Tracker system. We are also accepting letters of support around the proposed sewer. Once again, you don't have to be in favor of the sewer. You just have to be in favor of us trying to get grants to pay for it if it, comes to that. So you can be opposed to that, but still in favor of us getting money. Speaking of sewer, in terms of reports, we don't have any new reports around the sewer progress other than that the Act 537 is going through design still. The current review is with the Buckeye Pipeline Company around crossing. And we are waiting for an update from Wilmelsdorf around the potential for public water as part of that project. We are still on track with our proposed milestones, though. One of the things in the packet, and I believe that was probably either a Colin or Ryan item, with the alleys, which streets and alleys are officially part of the township. Do we need to have any further discussion on that? That seemed pretty straightforward.
I found dedication letters for almost all the alleys. There's only one I have a question about, and that's the one that's next to what used to be the Black Dog. Nowhere on any of our maps or any document could I find that we own that road.
Yeah, so the short answer is no, we don't really need to discuss it further. To the extent that we're confident that an alley is privately owned, the declaration of taking to obtain the easement interest by eminent domain and pay any abutters just compensation as determined by an appraisal. So, it's an issue, right, that would need to be addressed during the pre-construction phase. But there's a mechanism to get the interest that we need to install the sewer line.
Okay, perfect.
Not for Shady Cabin, though.
Same basic premise. Same exact basic premise. If it's already ours, if it's our road or our alley, we have the full legal authority to do things to it. If it's an alley that we don't own, or in the case of Shady Cabin Circle, which we found out was never dedicated and it's essentially private property for all of the property holders that live in Shady Cabin Circle, same basic premise as Colin said. We would be effectively eminent domaining the section that we would need to put the pipe in and have an easement there, and that would be the end of it.
Yeah, so there would be no dispute over the public purpose of installing a public sewer line. The parties could potentially disagree about just compensation, but there's a process to resolve.
So Carl, can you mark that sheet up with what?
I have.
Of course you do. Thank you.
Okay. Speaking of sewer stuff, the Terra Tracker program, as I mentioned, never a better time than the present. This past month, we had 0 properties that pumped out, but that's understandable. The weather's been kind of cold and crappy. So as it starts to warm up, hopefully people will start doing that. And hopefully the newsletter that we send out will give them a nice gentle nudge in that direction as well. Grants, in terms of grants that we have open, the emergency management trailer incident command center unit, we had gotten awarded $56,116. And we still, from the looks of it, have $3,832. I had a brief conversation with John A lot of the lettering, even the more basic lettering, was more expensive than that. So I told him to get updated quotes from a couple of places and see what we'd be able to do with that. Otherwise, we'll find some additional tools, whether it's like battery chargers or something like that, to use up the remainder of the money. Also, we had the Tulpehocken Police Protective Tactical and Communications Grant. That was $38,134. I believe everything has been purchased on that. We just have to get the reimbursement in. Grant opportunities, though, this is exciting. We went and reached out to Representative Eric Weekneck, Representative Dan Muser's office, Senator Chris Gebhardt's office, to really talk about the public sewer issue in terms of being able to pay for it. We had a very good meeting with Representative Weekneck, Madison Colaco from Representative Muser's office, and Dan Boast from Senator Gebhardt's office. They are all very much in support of helping us find the means to get the kind of money that we need. We also, and Lisa, correct me if I'm wrong, potentially have some interest from other senators and representatives regarding the sewer, as well as the kind of tangent of the conversation was the building. We actually even have Senator McCormick, who is interested in supporting us on getting a grant to redo the building. Which did we get a date set for doing the walkthrough with them?
No,
Okay, let me know, because I will make myself available to be there. But their office would like to do a walkthrough to see the building and understand really the dire need of the situation. The representatives' offices will obviously be keeping us up to date, but we probably won't see any sort of potential award for at least 6 to 12 months on these. But the grants that we're going after, federal share grant of a little over $2 million, and some other matching, or I shouldn't say matching, contributing grants like the local service or local share grant to take up some of the remainder that we would have to match on the federal grant. But all things told, that would take a huge chunk out of what has to be done to that building, if not fund the whole thing. So I'm cautiously optimistic, but I think we have the right people pulling in our corner to have a real chance at getting this. Segueing to EMC reports, I don't think John is in the building tonight, so I'll cover the core stuff. There were 7 EMS calls between Western Berks and the other EMS company that escapes me at the moment. Tulpehocken PD had 12 stops and 17 traffic citations. Otherwise, it was a relatively quiet month otherwise. As was mentioned, Steve Weaver is not here tonight. He's working on the pork barbecue, which is going to be on, did I hear that date right? May 9th?
Yeah.
Like
Saturday.
not next month, like not in a couple of days, but the month after that.
May 9, yeah.
May 9th.
May 9th. Okay. So everybody put it on your calendars. The fire company is going to be selling pork barbecue at the fire hall on May 9th. I'm assuming probably in the morning, like 9 to noon sort of thing, if anybody's in the room there that can confirm that. But we'll make sure that once you have a flyer, that we put it on the building and out on Facebook.
yeah, as soon as you guys get a flyer, can you get me one?
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Ryan from oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Lisa.
If you look at your emails, John did send in a EMC report as I was coming in tonight, and I did email that to you.
I
I don't know if
will.
there's-
I'll take a look at it and see if there's anything critical, but I know we had talked about grants. We had talked about getting some classes set up for like CPR and stop the bleed and things like that. So he's working on setting dates. And he was also working on getting some details in for that contract with the EMS company so that they're able to bill the medical insurance providers directly rather than getting sort of lost in the mail there with people get a reimbursement check from their insurance company and then never end up turning it over to the ambulances. So I know he was actively working on that. Ryan, from an engineer standpoint, do you have anything that you want to bring up for just report?
No, the saldo is on hold until we get some of the street work stuff ironed out, and I will touch on that agenda. So
Okay. Kraft has nothing to report. Carl, anything that you want to bring up?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, I know you guys have been using a lot of cold patch. You used 4.5 tons just so far, just so far this year. So we're off to a great start. And then just as a side note with the building, you were involved with helping with this, but the asbestos has been removed from the basement. That's been successfully remediated, and the sewer line has been successfully replaced. So 2 of the big issues with the building have been addressed. From talking to Lisa, it sounds like Kraft does not want people in the building while that wall in the back there is heaving. So maybe we'll have to have some conversation with Glenn specifically about that, about maybe if we close off part of the building for safety reasons, if we'd be able to use the other portion of it. Because we can't really touch that wall because of the grant stuff being in play until we know more about the grant. So we, unfortunately, with that, have to tread water for a little bit so we don't shoot ourselves in the foot. Lisa, anything that you want to bring up?
No, you and I went over the newsletter, so I will take care of that, and, everybody
And then
reviewed the feral
feral
cat thing.
cats.
Yeah,
Yeah, the content of it is fine. We can always change formatting without any issue. I think the content is great. It's good details on what you should and shouldn't be doing.
okay. And then I did have a resident that trapped 2 cats, on Wednesday, 1 male, 1 pregnant female. So, and
Excellent.
she has have more appointments next week, so, we have people starting to do that now, so.
Okay, very good. Okay, in terms of current items, as I mentioned, the septic system and the asbestos were remediated in the building. There's some closeout reports that need to be reviewed, but we're going to take care of that. When spring comes around, Carl, now that spring is just about on our door, we're going to try and trade it or sell the boom mower on Municipid, see what we can get for it. Playground maintenance, we're getting the swings replaced. I think if I heard Carl correctly, that's going to be next week, for just getting the ones that were there back in action. And we are looking at getting quotes and grants to replace the swings, as well as do some replacements and uplifts on the tennis courts. I know Kelly, when she was there, I don't know if she's in the audience today, had
She is.
mentioned that there's, hi Kelly, a potential for a USA Tennis grant for the 2 courts. That would cover both courts in terms of rehab and remediation, as well as turn them into pickleball courts. So we'd have a little more usability out of the 2 existing courts that we have. The work detail is also scheduled for this Saturday, March 28th at 9 a.m. So if you're able to come out and help, please put that on your calendar and make sure you come out. The trash ordinance, we had sent letters out to businesses and farmers about the change in the ordinance. Really, this is, again, just to reiterate, requiring proof of having trash and recycling services for properties that are not residences in the property. We are still getting phone calls with questions, but I think at this point, we'll rehash it in the newsletter and hopefully that drives the point home. Otherwise, we'll just have to keep handling phone calls and questions. I would say, yeah, just go ahead and strike that one off the agenda for next month.
They're confused. They're
So-
not understanding that they have to have the trash and recycling.
So nobody's complying yet.
I had a couple people after I talked to them send in. They
The
just,
majority. is.
yeah, they're just not understanding that it's trash and the big end recycling.
Where is everybody at paying their trash bill, and is Mascaro gonna enforce them for the late fees, or are we doing that?
I haven't got an update.
Right now, it's going to be Mascaro. We don't do anything with the billing.
Yeah. I haven't heard anything lately. That was what, like,
Yeah, it was
beginning of
last
the
year.
year?
That
Late
was-
last year.
I mean,
that
I can certainly
he
reach
said
out
they
and,
were going to do that.
yeah, I
but-
can certainly
Yeah.
reach out and get,
Yeah, we should have an update on that, because I haven't heard anything since
okay.
4 or 5,
Yeah.
well,
But right now, the way the contract is, and that's actually one of the reasons they said that the price is a little higher, is they're doing the billing. If we were to put it on our tax bill or something and not have that whole mess of things in the equation, it would simplify things for them, it would simplify things for us, and it would drive the costs down. Right now, they're responsible for the billing. So if they do a service and they want to get paid for it, they got to chase people. Okay, building, the monthly meeting for the building committee was held on Wednesday, March 18th. I don't think there's anything new item wise that we need to bring up. Jesse or Denny, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's kind of status quo on that. The big flurry of excitement will be around grants and discussion around that sort of stuff as that develops over the next couple of months.
Yeah.
The only
Road
thing we're
maintenance.
looking for
Yeah.
is, storage for the history items, looking into removing the history items.
Yes.
Again,
How to correctly remove them properly,
Package them.
and package them, storage them,
Yeah.
and store with the
Yep.
ad, so.
Road maintenance, Carl is still diligently working on the full 5-year cycle and plan for roads coming up over the next bunch of years. I think Carl's making good progress on that, but we're like, what, 3 years out of the 5 out that we figured out so far, roughly?
We're, Ryan and I are gonna change that up a little bit.
Okay,
Yeah,
Evolving.
but yeah, we're,
it's an organic document. It's going to evolve over time.
Carl,
And
moving
then-
in the right direction.
and then didn't you have a question
was
about the road? Didn't you have a question for him about the road? Canal
Oh, yes.
Road?
So, I had mentioned this to Carl and Ryan. Actually, since you're there, I want to pick your brain. I don't know if you can see the laptop over Jesse's shoulder there. I'm going to share my screen so you can see it. With Canal Road, because of where that crossing is, we can't adjust the height of the road. And it's just really kind of a mess there because the stream bank is so wide. What if we brought the road outwards a little bit to give us a little bit more runway, and the stream crossing is a little narrower further up, and we wouldn't have to disturb the house on the corner or anything like that, and we simply just shift it a little bit. I guess that would be northward, and scoot it.
I'm not Duncan nor there and the
Yeah.
other guy.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
But we can go look at it next week.
Yeah, we'll add this to our list of items to look at. Cause I have not seen that location in the field yet.
Okay, yeah, it's the right where the stream crosses right now. I think because of the way that it's been crossed for so long, it's very wide there that it's sort of eroded out, whereas it's much narrower. I think it's like 7 or 8 feet where the roadway is. Whereas if you go up northern a little bit, it's more pronounced in the fact that it's narrower and a little deeper. So
Okay.
other than having to work with Mervin, who is the property owner there, that to me at least seems like the simple solution of we don't have enough room for changing the elevation of the road gently because it would interfere with the road for Shady Cabin and the houses on the end. And we wouldn't be able to get the kind of height that we need to be able to put a culvert in. So I wanted to get your thoughts on that just as a preliminary, talk to Dean, see what his thoughts are. But that would potentially, if we can do it this way, get us opportunities for grant funding that would make us eligible again because we'd actually be able to do it. And we wouldn't have to worry about closing that road off, which was one of the other suggestions, which I don't like the idea of.
That was the guy from the state's first suggestion.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a hard no from me unless we absolutely have to. But anyway, I had that thought today when I was picking up my kids from school. And I was like, maybe we can just scoot it a little bit and get the kind of clearances that we need. So,
Okay, we'll take a look at it.
thank you.
Mervin wants to know, this is why you didn't show up today.
No. I didn't show up today because I don't have anybody to watch my kids. And I don't trust a 10-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 4-year-old by themselves for a couple hours. But anyway, also on road related stuff, we still have the sinkholes at Forge Road and Wintersville Road. We're still working on trying to figure out how to handle those. And as we mentioned earlier, Canal Road, along with Forge Road and Church Road, are being submitted for consideration on the dirt and low volume gravel road grants. Canal will probably be 2027, but I think we're shooting for Forge. Is it Forge this year? Forge or Church, Carl?
Forge is coming
Okay.
first. Forge is more vital.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Bigger problem there.
Yep.
But we won't actually be able to get it till 27.
Yeah, no, understood. We'd get it for this cycle of grant funding and then done next year.
Deadline is April, in April for the low volume grant.
Okay.
Peter, are you able
Uh,
to see, read emails while you're on this?
Yeah, if you give me a second.
All right, because I sent an email, I scanned in, the paperwork that Brian brought in tonight for the 2026 road project that he wants to go over.
Well, in that case, I'll turn it over to Ryan while I get my email open.
So, a couple weeks back, Carl and I drove some roads primarily that were slated for 2026 for this year. And I took, the 2026 and 2027 road program information that Carl had provided and kind of started to, churn it through some estimates. And we're looking at, the best way to kind of get through the next 2 years and meet our budget constraints. So the next step for us is to go out and take some real world measurements, some physical measurements on these base repair items to see where we stand, estimate wise compared to what's going to be required in the field. And the way that I had done this is, I went through and I basically looked at a two-step process. The base repair and then the oil and chip that would be applied afterwards. So I took the roads for both years, and you can see the first 2 pages are 2026, and it starts with what we call a construction estimate. That would be the select base repair broke down by square yard. And the next page would be what we call the maintenance cost estimate, which would be that double application of oil and chip. And we do 2026 and then the same thing again for 2027. We're trying to find the best way to go about this. And that may be doing all the patching for 2026 and in 2026, and then do all the oil and chip for both years in 2027.
Okay.
I don't know the answer to that yet. Again, I need to verify some limits. We need to take a look at some quantities to see if we can get all of this in 2 years and kind of look at making something like that work. So this is kind of just a progress update. If anybody wants to take a look through it and let me know if you have questions. Again, we're looking at Canal Road, Stouchburg School Road, Wintersville Road. We're all slated for 2026. And A7 included Charming Forge, Smoltz, Richland, Forge, and Water Street. So we're looking at the best way to put out contracts together to try to get the best price for the township we can on that overall scope of work. So our next step is to meet again and take a look at this. Again, take some measurements, and our goal is to have a scope of work for you to authorize us to proceed with at the next meeting.
Okay.
So take a look at it. If you have any questions, reach out to one of us and we'll get you an answer if we can.
Hey, Lisa, real quick.
Yes.
I saw that it doesn't look like the check got sent for the office subscription, the email and everything else. Can you have the treasurer check that out and make sure that was sent? And if it wasn't, process that invoice right away.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll make sure that it's in your inbox too. 'Cause I
Okay.
just saw that they had sent that earlier today.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
In terms of new business,
There's a
there's
whole
no
bunch
new
I
items.
I'll have
Did
to-
somebody say something?
I said, I know I sent out like a whole bunch of checks and I can't
Yeah.
remember what they. I
Yeah,
can
let's just
certainly
double
look
check.
and-
If it got lost in the mail, that's one thing.
I
I don't
remember
want to send
signing-
it again.
Was it-
We signed the one for, you gave me a check to sign for April, and I do remember signing one for last month, a
Okay.
check for rent, 1,280.
No, he's talking about.
No, no, I'm talking about the Office 365 licensing, like the email
Oh.
Teams. Yeah. No, we've paid our rent. We don't have to worry about getting kicked out of the building, but I think we'd have, maybe the check got lost in the mail for
Okay.
the email subscription and everything else that we use.
Okay, yep, just make sure I have that and I'll look into that then.
Yeah, it's at the top of your inbox now.
Okay, thank you.
Business projects. There's no new items for Blue Spruce, 85 Main Street, or the Oberholzer Ag operations. Alden on Sixth is an ongoing discussion, and we're going to have a little bit more about that today, as well as Martin's Church. So either Colin or Ryan, do you want to start us off with what we have new for Alden on Sixth?
There's really not much to discuss. I anticipate that the plan will be in front of the planning commission during April for review. Potential action in April should engineer roads and the planners think that it's in a position for implementation.
And then for Martin's Church, do you have any updates or news on that one? If not, that's okay. The only thing I had is that there's open discussion.
Yeah, no updates.
Yeah, I just think
No
it's.
updates? Okay.
I just-
Okay, Gerald Weaver's project, the stormwater agreement was approved. Otherwise, we don't have any additional actions needed at this time, and they'll continue to move through the project process. Speaking of
Correct.
projects, good.
If you recall, we waived the land development on that last month.
Yep.
Their stormwater plan was reviewed and approved. They have their NPDS permit, so their next step will be essentially pre-construction meetings and a zoning permit for the ag structure.
Okay, perfect. Okay, we are going to be tracking internal projects within the township. We got Microsoft Planner set up. Denny, I know you have access to it. I have access to it.
I don't
Jesse,
have
you have access.
I
I'll
don't have
come in.
access to it.
One of these days, I'll come in and I'll help you get that squared away, Lisa. It's there.
Okay.
It's just hiding. I promise.
Nice.
Office equipment. Lisa, I'll send you the link for the replacement camera. If you could get that picked up on the township Amazon account.
Okay, can you still get into the Amazon account?
Probably. I haven't tried lately.
Okay. Because if you go in there, your information's still in there.
Okay. Well, my information might be in there, but I don't know if I can sign into it.
Okay, let me know.
We'll work on that. We'll connect.
Okay.
Same time that I show you Planner, we can get that squared away.
Okay,
Um,
and then the computer access, I think that's where we're at.
Yep. The other thing is, can you reach out to Solve IT and have them check the USB port on that laptop? I think there's something
Yep,
flaky with it.
yeah, I have that written down to call them.
Okay. In addition to making sure we paid the check for the Office and 365 licenses, when I talk to them, I'm going to make sure that they give us a quote for one so that we can add Abby, which was approved at the workshop meeting. And I guess, Jesse, this is one of the things that you're going to be working on with Carl, but the pole building that we're looking at putting together for the garage, the replacement garage.
There's no new business on that. I'm still waiting because they said 2 to 3 months for a quote on that.
Geez. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Let's keep it on
So
the
we-
agenda just so we keep it front of mind, but knowing that we might have to wait a little bit.
We can get further quotes. Now, that was for a steel frame building. We can also get other quotes from other people. If we don't get if we don't pursue grants for it, then we could probably just bid it out like everything else and then pick who
Yeah.
we want, but have the prevailing
we
wage
can-
thing.
If we can just get it and finance it, if as long as it's not crazy expensive, that might be the best fit in terms of time and money. Let's get some ideas and some quotes together for that. Conrad Weiser,
Peter.
youth-based, yes.
The Microsoft.
Yeah.
Isn't that set up under your card?
Maybe.
Because I have an invoice here that says, do not pay, you will be charged the amount due through your selected method of payment.
Okay, then we need to check with, I'll
Like, I
call
don't
them
remember-
tomorrow because like I said, I got an email that they didn't get payment, so I assumed we sent them a check rather than it being auto billed.
Yeah, after you said that, I'm thinking, I don't remember ever writing a check, and then I thought, no, wait a minute, that's like a monthly thing I get that says it's already
Yeah.
set up.
Okay. Well,
So-
we'll do the research on that, but we'll make sure that it's squared away one way or the other.
Okay. All right.
Conrad Weiser was approved to use the baseball field again this year, just as we've customarily done in the past. Their season goes from March 23rd through June 27th. They gave us a wide stretch of times that they would potentially want to use the field, although there's no guarantee that they're going to be using it any and all of those times. They provided a copy of the insurance and will be providing a porta potty as usual.
Yeah, I did get the copy of insurance. I also emailed them seeing if they could give me some type of a schedule, but I didn't receive the schedule yet, so. But I did
Okay.
get a copy.
Speaking of porta potties, I'm going to jump ahead 24. The porta potty that we had previously gotten for Carl and the road crew, do we want to get rid of that or do we want to move it over to the playground? My personal standpoint, what we kind of talked about on the workshop meeting is I'd like to move it over to the playground.
Why not?
Okay, if everybody's okay with that, then let's get it moved over to the playground. That way we have some bathroom facilities available there. Treasurer, we actually got an offer from our bookkeeping consultant that we had been using for training on bookkeeping to simply be our treasurer for $500 a month. I don't think you can shy away from that kind of value on an actual trained CPA to do our books and our checks and everything. So I forget, Lisa, did we officially endorse that at the workshop meeting or do we need to vote on that tonight?
That was approved at last
Okay.
week's meeting.
Thank you. So
And she's
no
gonna be
action needed.
starting April 3rd.
April 3rd. Thank you.
What's that?
Excellent.
She'll be starting April 3rd.
I'm sorry.
April 3rd.
Have we confirmed that she's bonded?
She will be.
Yeah.
That's actually a good point. So
I'll check on that.
confirm that she's bonded. Otherwise, we'll have to put up the bond money.
Okay,
And obviously the bond amount has to be the total, assets of the township.
okay.
In the past, Colin, we've bonded for 900,000.
I was
Do
gonna
you
say,
think
that's what,
I mean, it's a little lower than total assets, but it's pretty close. Do you think we should worry about upping it or just leave it as is?
I think the law technically requires a bond in the amount of the township's total assets, so that's what I would recommend. And,
Okay,
and,
so-
the cost associated is probably marginal. Just
Yeah.
to come. And
Okay,
that's
so we
what I
may-
would suggest.
We may need to increase the bond amount. We'll get a figure on that, but Lisa, start by checking to see if she's already bonded. Because I'd imagine if
Okay.
she's doing this, she may already carry a bond.
I think she's doing other places, so she probably already, yes.
Okay,
And
perfect.
that's a good point, Colin. I
Yeah,
didn't
very,
think of
very
that.
good point, Colin. I'm used to just having somebody be the treasurer and we always have to get them bonded. So this is a slight departure.
If you want to be technical, she should really be bonded for each and every place that she serves, right? Because if she's going to steal from one, she's more likely to steal
Right,
from
yeah.
all. And
That's
if
fair.
bond, for $2 million, that, again, just,
Yeah,
the tax-
Yeah,
for
no, I see where you're
all of
coming
the
from.
sides.
So what I'll do is I'll make a motion to, if as necessary, bond the new treasurer for up to the total amount of township assets.
I'll second that.
Motion made by Peter, second by Jesse. Roll call, Peter.
Aye.
Denny.
Okay, perfect. Then we're square there. So Lisa, ask her about that, see if there's any action needed. From what Colin is saying, it sounds like there probably will be. So based on that, turn around and reach out to the company that does the bonding so that we can get that squared away.
Okay.
Carl, with
And
street
then you'll get
sweeping,
me an amount. You said you'll get me an amount then?
we'll need have Live Edge pull what the total amount is for assets. It's in QuickBooks. I don't know what that is off the top of my head, but that's part of the bookkeeping.
Okay,
I want to say it's probably close to about $1 million, but double check.
Okay.
Carl, street sweeping. Did we nail down which streets are going to be swept? Same ones as before?
It's the same as last year.
Okay.
Did we find out if we could borrow a street sweeper?
No. I will.
No, we didn't find out, or no, we can't borrow it?
No, I didn't find out.
Okay. Well, if you can, find out, because May 13th will be here before we know it, but whether we have to pay somebody or if we can borrow the street sweeper, I'm okay with scheduling the street sweeping date for Wednesday, March 13th, so that it's nice and clean prior to the car show on the 16th.
May.
It's May.
May.
Not
May,
March.
May 6th, March, yeah, sorry, May, not March.
Hold on,
Correct.
Peter. Kelly was
Yeah.
trying to say something. I can't hear with the speaker in front of me. So what's your,
How far in advance do you need to put up their no parking signs?
how far in advance?
It's like 24 hours. We usually do it like a couple days or a week in advance. But I think it's minimum 24 hours.
If you want.
And then
Typically,
it is
Kelly, if you
24 hours.
remember,
Yeah.
if you remember in the past, we would put up no parking signs for both events, like
Yes.
the weekend,
Yes.
like beforehand, just to let people know, and then we would take down one and leave the other one up.
Yes.
Okay, so motion on the table to schedule street sweeping for Wednesday, May 13th.
Second that.
Motion made by Peter, second.
Aye.
Jesse,
Aye.
Denny,
Aye.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Lisa, but we already did this with the approving the resolution for Fulton Bank to remove Dan and
It should
add
say
you on the
approved.
account. What was
it
that?
should say it should say approved, not approval. It should say approved.
Okay, because I could have swore we did that. So go ahead and take that off the agenda.
It's approved. It shouldn't even need to be on the agenda.
Yeah, say if it's approved, it can just be taken off. Unless we
I
did it
tried
at the
to-
workshop.
What's
And
on the
not the meeting.
workshop? Happen on the workshop on the board meeting, just so everybody on, and then I'll remove it for next month. That way it's.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I said, if it happens at the workshop, keep it on for the board meeting. But if it's
Yeah, that's what I
previous
did.
workshop or board meeting, just take it off.
Yeah, we did this last week.
Okay. And then Fulton Bank, we authorized the transfer from road district savings to road district checking in order to pay for last year's road projects. This was to Pensy Supply for the road work that was done, and it was approved at the workshop meeting. Just as some general announcements, State Representative Eric Weekneck will be doing a spring cleaning shredding event Saturday, April 4th. Let me pull that pamphlet out. For location.
There's flyers here I have up at the table if anybody wants one.
Yeah, well, if you got it in front of you, where are they doing that?
So they are doing the shredding at Conrad Weiser Middle School.
Yeah.
4-box
Excellent.
limit.
I have it in my packet here somewhere. I'm just trying to find it. Packet was like an inch thick today.
What
Here we go. Okay.
size box?
That's a good point. Colin had some
And
stuff.
then the Representative Weeknecht is also going to be hosting a event called Scam Jam at the Departure Lounge at the Reading Regional Airport on Thursday, May 7th from 10 a.m. to noon. For any information, you can, or to RSVP, you can call Representative Weeknecht's office at 610-378-4407, and Lisa has flyers in the office. Okay. We also had talked about getting business cards and township cell phones. I think the business cards are obviously the cheaper, simpler, easier thing to do. So I'd say let's start there. We got a bunch of pricing for various cell phone providers, and let's look at those in greater detail for next month's meeting and come armed with what our, 1, 2, and 3 choices are and why. I would say let's authorize, whether it's through Vistaprint or JDM, printing out 100 business cards for Lisa as the secretary, Carl as the roadmaster, and for the 3 supervisors. I'll make that a motion.
I'll second it.
Motion made by Peter, second by Jesse. Roll call, Peter.
Aye.
Jesse,
Aye.
Denny.
Aye.
Okay, perfect. And the last thing that we really need some discussion on is there's a letter of credit, like an escrow account for Weiler's Garage with their holding tank. And I don't recall the legal requirements off the top of my head, Do we have to keep the escrow account into perpetuity for the holding tanks, or is that only during construction?
So here's what the holding tank, the holding tank agreement essentially required property owner to establish, as part of his financial security to secure the land development, a line item concerning the connection of his specific structure to the public sewer system whenever is to be built. And, over time, that amount has reached $60,000, which is probably not the amount that it actually costs to connect that property to the sewer system. And so obviously, as the amount of financial security climbs, so does the cost of maintaining it.
Yeah.
Right. So one of my first questions is whether the township has imposed a similar requirement upon any other property
There-
owners along Main Street as a condition of land development.
Any of the more recent holding tanks that went in, I want to say within the past 2 or 3 years, after that requirement was known as part of the like sewer management stuff, yes, there are, I believe, at least 4, maybe 5 escrow accounts that we have for holding tanks.
But those escrows are for the inspection and pumping of the holding tanks should the property owner fail to do so. This escrow is different because it's in a letter of credit in the amount of $60,000 as a contingency to secure connection with the sewer system should he not do it or pay for it. Right. So in other words, whenever the sewer system,
We don't have any other ones like that then, no.
right. And that does not surprise me. I know we didn't impose that requirement upon the bakery a couple years
Yeah.
ago. So with all that being said, I think we have a few different options given the property owner's request. First option, obviously we can keep the matter as is, right? I think there is some benefit to the township in ensuring that we have the money to do the connection should the property owner fail, right? In other
Mhm.
words, less money out of our pocket that we have to spend on the property owners who don't connect, forcing us to spend
Better.
money and property, right? So that's one option. The other option is to reduce the amount based upon a recommendation by our sewer engineer to whatever we believe would be the cost of connection in today's dollars, or that the construction of the sewer line will happen. And finally, the last option is simply to have the property owner sign a new holding tank agreement akin to those we've had other property owners sign in the past, essentially agreeing to put up a small escrow for pumping and inspections with an acknowledgement / promise that when the sewer line project does happen, that the property owner will connect.
We have any
Those are-
issues being kind of the one-off agreement, with that being atypical compared to everybody else? Is there any concerns around, I guess, misapplication of that sort of thing on one person versus the others?
I mean, we were obviously entitled to impose that
Mhm.
that can. Every project is reviewed, separately and anew, and
Yeah.
each different property and each different project has their own unique concerns. So I'm not troubled by our property owner being different than the arrangement we have with recent developers. You know, Yeah, I'm not sure, you know, should we do something differently? Maybe, so long as we understand that, you know, we're essentially foregoing money we have to facilitate this connect property or not do it.
Okay. My personal reaction to this would be the second option, which would be the reducing the amount based on the SEO's review and recommendation. Jesse and Denny, how do you feel on the situation?
I guess have the SEO look at it, get a recommendation.
I mean,
I just-
it's there. I don't see the benefit of getting rid of it necessarily or switching to the other format of what we have for pump out and inspection. But
Yeah, so, in the event that the sewer engineer and SEO say that we should hold, I don't know, $25,000, then at next month's meeting, we make a motion to authorize the release of, you know, approximately $35,000 of that money.
Okay.
Now, you know, I don't know whether that will make the property owner happy or not, you know, because I don't know the difference in the price of maintaining a letter of credit for $65,000 compared to $25,000, right? Maybe the cost is nominal. I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah.
I was hoping he would be here tonight and we invited him so I could get the answer to that question. And I can talk to people who do know the answer, but,
yeah. Okay,
there's
I would say
obviously-
let's start there, see what it would be, and I mean, I wouldn't think he'd be upset even if it is a marginal amount. It's, hey, you don't have to spend X number of dollars on this. Money saved is money saved.
Right. So, all right, in that case, I'll contact the SEO and get his opinion.
No, and
Perfect.
he's on the other side of 422, so it's not even, we don't even know if we're going to do that in any time soon.
Yeah. Yeah, with going under 422 is still a sticky
Big.
prospect right now,
Yeah.
dealing with the state. So he might have the holding tank for a while, which is, I think, also important to keep that escrow in place there, just as a kind of a little bit of a safety blanket. The last item that we have on the agenda is Bollinger Road. Yeah.
Let me stop you.
Yeah.
This holding tank agreement did not establish any other escrow for ongoing pumping and maintenance.
Oh, okay. So then we should probably talk to them about setting that up in addition to the other one. Like maybe if we say it's going to be reduced by X amount of dollars, but we need a, supplementary letter of credit based on the ongoing operation and maintenance of the holding tank.
Yeah, I don't
Give it-
really know if that's an
give it some-
option.
Yeah.
If we're, I think we have to pick a lane. If we're more concerned about getting the money for the sewer, then we should keep it as is or reduce the letter of credit. If we're more concerned about now securing money for ongoing inspections and maintenance, we
Yeah.
should post a new holding tank agreement.
Well, we have enforcement powers under the sewer management program if people don't comply with that.
We do, and there is a mechanism for recovering fines, right, to recoup some of our costs should we have to inspect and pump anyone's holdings. So I think I like your initial thought on this matter.
Okay.
I don't think, we should just decide to, relinquish the money we have to secure the connection to this property, just given the overall. Like every dollar matters. I understand that this property owner is not happy about having to, pay in perpetuity a cost to keep this security, this letter of credit open, but that was a condition of his land development approval.
It's a cost of doing business.
Right, exactly.
Okay. If nothing else on that, Colin, is our short executive session tonight about Bollinger or something else?
No, it's just about the status of 4050 Conrad
Okay.
Weiser.
Well, in that case, we're not going to be discussing anything with Bollinger because of the ongoing potential for litigation. Which moves us
And-
into, yeah,
And it just frankly, it's nothing really that I can't say publicly, other than to note that Craft Codes went out to the property again last week and determined that there were still serious, ongoing fire safety and life safety issues that need to be immediately remediated. And we together, Craft and Kozloff Stout, sent correspondence to the property owner to that effect.
okay. In terms of comments, I don't have anything other than just a reminder that the MTCA work detail is this Saturday, and that they are, as always, fundraising. They have Bellows coupons as well as Justino's sandwiches. See Kelly or one of the other MTCA members if you're interested. Jesse, do you have any comments?
No comments.
Okay. Denny.
Yeah, the only thing I have, I just wanted to bring up, since you were bringing up the shredding stuff, is that April, let me find it here.
King Swings is gonna be out Friday, right? Or it's
Yeah,
going
yeah.
to be-
King Swing's coming.
At what time?
4,
4.
at the playground, at the playground.
That tomorrow? Or,
Yes.
That's tomorrow, yes.
Yes.
okay,
Okay.
tomorrow at
I'll
4
be
o'clock.
there, I'll be there, Peter.
Okay. I should be
Uh,
able to be there, but I'm glad that we've got you there just in case.
So April 11th, the Berks County
Until 5.
Household Hazardous Waste Collection is going on. If you need to go there, it's just go into Hazardous Waste Collection, Berks County, over in Muhlenberg.
Excellent call out. Thank you.
Pretty neat. They'll take anything. They won't take latex paint. Other than that, they take anything.
Is that over near the jail?
That's over near the ball field. There's a ball field in Muhlenberg. I don't think it's, well, I don't think the jail's there, but it's
That's over in
the-
Temple, right? Like,
no, that's Muhlenberg high school's over there.
oh, I know where you're talking about. Like if you're going out Route 5th Street towards like the Walmart direction from where the Fairgrounds Mall is, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's like a Target and a PetSmart and a shopping plaza, and yeah, it's out that direction.
if you find it on the website, it'll give you directions. It's a
Okay,
little
perfect.
They're very well organized.
Okay, thanks.
Lisa, anything for you?
Nope.
Okay, excellent. Carl?
Nope.
Okay. Colin?
No.
Okay. Brian?
No, other than we're continuing to try to get caught up and up to speed here, and hopefully next year when it comes to the street work, Carl and I are a little ahead of where we are this year. So that would be my
Perfect.
goal.
Perfect. Okay. Well, in that case, I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting, and then we'll have a brief executive session after this as necessary. The time is now 8:01 p.m.
I'll second it.
Motion made by Peter, second by Jesse, roll call Peter.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you, everybody. We'll
Thank you.
stop the recording, and once everybody funnels out of the room, let me know and we can resume.
Sorry.